Meve noted a crowd of dwarves. They were several dozen, many holding baskets brimming with dried sausages, soft, puffy pretzels, and jugs of frothy beer.
What is this gathering?
She asked Gabor.
These folk, they're the parents of youngsters who are to return today from their Drekthag.
Gabor proceeded to explain that the Drekthag was a trek upon which the local dwarves would embark when they reached maturity. During this year-long voyage, young folk would taste of life beyond their home. Yet if they failed to return on time, they would be stripped of all rights and privileges accorded to Mahakam's natives.
See, in recent years, young folks' blood's been boiling on account of the strict laws in force here.
Gabor added.
So, we send them out. Let them taste life in the lowlands. Once they've learned for themselves what it's like to live among humans, they come back and ain't likely to complain.
Customarily, only a few dwarves ever decided to remain in the valleys for good. That year, however, was different.
Deadline's the Mora, and 40 Drekthagers still haven't returned.
Their parents now worried if some misfortune had not befallen them. The Mahakaman Guard had sent out patrols to the near reaches of the valleys. They returned not having seen anything distressing, while the humans living at the foot of the massif had been largely unwilling to talk. The guard captain, a dwarf with a fiery red beard, removed his helmet, wiped the sweat from his brow, and addressed Meve.
Your Majesty, we need to find our youth. Perhaps you'd be willing to go out and search. Human folk are more like to tell you if they saw anything out of the ordinary of late. Naturally, there'd be...
One could say I myself have lost a son.
Meve gripped the captain's hand firmly.
And I know well the pain that comes. I shall do all in my might to spare you at least that.
Meve set off, the hopeful gazes of the dwarven parents bidding her. The queen sent a scout ahead. Sometime later, she heard his horn. 3 blasts. 2 short, 1 long.
An ambush!
Meve expected to combat beasts or robbers. Yet upon her force descended warriors with squirrel tails attached to their heads.
Scoia'tael! Don't let them escape!
Now we must stick together. Have her done in a jiffy.
You should not have come here.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Got a hearty hankering for Gwent. Can't take it anymore.
As you wish, milady.
Well, if anyone's got any hooch left.
Left, right, left, right.
Hi-ho! Hi-ho!
Abolist at your command.
Getting to work. Ow! This could hurt.
Oh my.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Now we will see who is weak.
Only death here for Dwan.
Cursed traitors. I shall not fail!
Tell me you jest.
Can't take it anymore.
None shall tread on us!
They used tire my tongue about that. Now we must stick together. Scoia'tael! Attack!
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
Have strength, my love.
Scoia'tael! Don't let them escape! None shall tread on us!
Left, right, left, right.
Watch your heads!
Glediven board!
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Right! Come on! Who's first?
Got a hearty hankering for Gwent.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Now we will see who is weak!
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
I shall not fail!
What's a helmet if not a pot turned over?
We ought to help one or the other.
Can't take it anymore.
Well, if anyone's got any hoots left.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Ah, they use tired my tongue about that.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
For Rivia!
Elven blarney.
Left, right, left, right.
The storm is coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we still can.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Now we must stick together.
Our ballista, your command.
Have her done in a jiffy. Scoia'tael! Attack!
Yeah!
Armor won't stay.
They're so young. No wonder they were easily manipulated.
As soon as the battle had come to an end, the prisoners were brought before the Queen. All, without exception, were dwarves, and all looked to be youthful dwarves.
Mystery solved,
Muttered Meve. In fact, these were the Missing Drekthagers. Instead of returning home, they had enlisted with guerrillas fighting for non-human rights. But what had...
I was impatient. Wanted badly to turn 50. I couldn't wait to see human cities. Vitsima, Tretagor, Novigrad.
Said one of the dwarven prisoners while pressing a bandage to a bleeding wound.
And you know the welcome that awaited me there. I was spit upon and called names. I saw ghettos, massacres. And how was I to go back to the mines after that? We must fight while we still can. Before the humans come to cut us down, we must tell the rest of ours the same. Pull all Mahakaman into the fight!
Meve's soldiers stood waiting for her to protest, to accuse the dwarf of lying. But the Queen could not pretend she did not understand why the dwarf had taken up arms. Without entering into a discussion, she ordered the dwarven parents thus got their offspring returned to them, albeit wounded and in chains. Bruva Hoog, who had limitless disdain for the Scoia'tael, demanded the dwarven youth be severely punished for succumbing. In the end, the Drekthagers were sentenced to 50 years hard labor in the quarries. The Elder-in-Chief believed a half-century of swinging a pickaxe would sufficiently cool the hot heads of these would-be guerrilla fighters.
They came back alive. That's the key part.
The red-headed captain said, handing Meve a pouch as a reward.
And perchance by the time they're freed, the war twixt the races will be over, eh? What do you think, Queen?
Meve shrugged in response. Perhaps she had no opinion in the matter, or perhaps she simply did not wish to state.
Might be in jail, but at least they're back. That's most important.
The Queen noted a building with unusually lavish ornamentation, including shining bronze roof tiles and glistening rock crystal window panes. An important clan dwelled there, Gabor explained. The Breckenrigs.
Could you introduce me?
Meve asked.
Perhaps I can convince them to intercede.
The clan head, Iva, invited Meve to an exquisite feast. But when she broached the subject of the war raging just outside Mahakam's borders, the dwarf changed the subject at once. Looking around the interior, Meve quickly understood why. The walls were ordained with Nilfgaardian tapestries and rugs. Gifts from friendly Imperial envoy. Her kidnapper turned out to be a young dwarf. Female, it seemed, dressed in her nightshirt. She introduced herself as Iva's daughter, Eudora Breckenrigs, and openly admitted she had eavesdropped on Meve's dinner conversation.
Listen, me dad's stubborner than an old goat, but I'll convince him to help ye. For a wee favour, I want you to steal something from the clan archive. Historiae Mahakamorum, 'tis called. See, me dad won't let me betroth me sweetikin Zoltan. Says the codex forbids marrying a dwarf who's left the mountains. But there's precedent. Just such a case described in that document. If I can show it to Da, he'll have to change his mind.
Meve felt sympathy for Eudora and wanted to help her, especially considering the favor Eudora could do her in return. But she fully realized if her attempt to break into the archive ended badly...
The pot's worth the play, I believe. Fine. I accept your offer.
They then shook hands, sealing the deal. Meve had to bite her tongue to stop from crying out, for the young she-dwarf had the grip of a brawny blacksmith. Meve returned to her company, and, massaging her sore hand, presented Eudora's offer. Gascon volunteered for the task at once.
Thievery's my forte. The dwarves won't notice.
Gascon snuck into the archive under the cover of darkness. Just as he was tucking Eudora's desired document into his cloak, he heard dwarven boots clanking down the stairs.
Damn it!
Gascon swore.
I can't let them...
Woo! Yeah.
Stop! Who's there? Huh? Who's there?
What a nub. That was close.
Stop! Who's there? Huh? Who's there?
What a nub. That was close.
Ah!
Piece of cake.
Ah! Yeah! Ho!
Just a bit more.
Luckily, Gascon managed to do the deed quietly, so the dwarves never found out who had broken in. As agreed, Meve handed Eudora the stolen document.
Ha!
The dwarf shouted, raising the parchment in a triumphant gesture.
Da can't do nothing to stop her making vows now. I've got to write Zoltan right quick. Thanks. Thanks.
And Eudora did her part too. Soon after, the Queen learned there'd been a gathering of the clans, and Ivor had indeed spoken on her behalf. She could only hope the elder Breckenriggs had swayed Bruver.
You can count on us, Queenie. Ivor'll be a wall at your back, stout and strong.